because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their gilt rings. Right, the bouncer's gilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Omar Ahmed, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Anthony Joshua's back to winning ways. Spence Oliver's ducking and diving in the interview. What did you make of his performance, Gareth?
It was fascinating. I thought, and I genuinely mean it was fascinating. There'll be lots of criticism that he won on points and didn't finish Jermaine Franklin. I got the privilege of chatting to him up on the ring apron afterwards for Talk Sport, straight away afterwards, where that adrenaline is still there, where he's just had that head-butting session with Jermaine Franklin afterwards, where he's frustrated. He said, all he told me was it's very tough in there, and you know, there's a rawness going on in there, and I think he was very unhappy about Franklin putting his head in, but it was just something he wanted to finish him. He said he was really disappointed and frustrated. He wanted to get the knockout in the fight. But from my perspective, that was the things he was saying. From my perspective, we saw him battle back in this fight. He was having issues early in the fight. He did look gun shy early on. He looked gun shy early on. He looked like he couldn't get his counters away. He stuck with it. Jermaine Franklin was very, very durable, I thought, really durable. And he worked his way into the fight. He fatigued. He got his Jermaine Franklin by around about 6-7 rounds. He took advantage of that, and then he started to pour on the pressure. We saw big right hands. We saw lots of pressure from him in rounds 8 or 9. But then you're all up off your seat because he gets caught by a punch suddenly, and it's like back to the old AJ. And so we saw vulnerability. We saw him really work his way through it. We saw amazing fitness and stamina from him tonight as well, by the way. I don't think he's ready for Wilder or Fury or Joyce right now, but I think he's ready for a fight with Dillian Whyte, and I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll do a fight with Dillian Whyte next.
I just spoke to Andy Lee. I asked him, you know, off that performance, how does he fare with Tyson Fury? And he said, I don't have to say anything. What do you think happens? Is he, you know what he's saying? Yeah,
I mean, he's going to struggle with Fury because Fury will play around with him in there, and he'll hit him with long shots, and you know, he won't let him off the leash. He won't let him off the hook, maybe like Franklin did at certain points. Franklin did a great job, I tell you, of being. I said about him. I spoke to his camp. They'd worked so hard on his weight and his speed and his movement. He made himself a small target, didn't he? Brilliantly early on in the fight. But Joshua caught up with him. No, I think he would struggle. I've always thought he'd struggle against Fury because unless AJ's flowing and drawing someone onto a fight. Sorry, my adrenaline. Let me slow down. Drawing someone onto a fight, he can look robotic at times. I mean, his timing was off earlier. I thought Derek James was very good in the corner. The instructions were right at the right time. He could see that Jermaine Franklin was tiring. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the win. I'm happy he got the win. We've got to be happy that AJ is back into winning. And, you know, had he lost tonight, it would have been catastrophic for his career. There'll be loads of criticism, as I say, that didn't even put Jermaine Franklin away and stop him. He's as frustrated as anyone out there criticising him. You know, it's a long road back, and this is the start of his new dawn, isn't it?
Thanks for all your time this week, Gareth. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. You know I'm always here.
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their gilt rings. Right, the bouncer's gilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.